I'm going to read the language of crows. I've been thinking about crows. They remember faces. Isn't that crazy? That they remember you. It's mad. Anyway, this is language of crows. Number 1. After the last human word is spoken, there will be the language of crows. And after the last human sound is heard, there will be the human language, left in pieces, inside the language of crows. The crows have taken human in and hold it in the fork of their lungs. Split human into another lateral breath. This is the language of crows. Number 2. Washoe was the first non-human to learn to communicate using the human language. Washoe was raised in an environment as close as possible to that of the human language. Washoe appeared to experience an identity crisis when introduced to other chimpanzees. Washoe was shocked to learn that Washoe was not the only chimpanzee. Washoe learned approximately 350 words of the human language and was able to combine hundreds of words into novel combinations. This is not the language of crows. Number 3. It is impossible to understand the language of crows from the outside. From the outside, the crows read human faces and give humans names. They hold the crow language for a moment in their beaks, and this can be to better retrieve food, to pull levers and pulleys, to solve puzzles that were left by the human language. The crows turn over boxes and move shapes, and will pass this tool tongue to their families with warnings and friendship. This is the language of crows. Number 4. Nim was a chimpanzee. Nim was in a study to determine whether chimpanzees could learn the human language. Now, Nim used the human language, but was strictly pragmatic. Nim used the human language only as a means of obtaining an outcome. There was nothing Nim could be taught that could not be taught to a pigeon. This is not the language of crows. Number 5. Teaching the science of human to the language of crows succeeds only in teaching crows to speak human. That the crows can discriminate between the human languages without any training and translate human roads, describe human cities into the grammar of food and playfulness laid over human striations. This is the language of crows. Number 6. Coco was born in San Francisco for use in the human language experiments. Coco used many signs adapted from the human language. Coco had thick fingers and hands and was therefore unable to speak some human. But Coco adapted a variation. Coco invented new signs to communicate novel thoughts. Like, nobody taught Coco the word for ring, so Coco combined the words finger and bracelet to make finger bracelet. But Coco did not speak the human language, which requires syntax and grammar. And Coco did not understand the meaning behind the human language and only learned to complete the parts of the human language because humans rewarded the behavior. Nim said that Coco was mimicking trainers, just like hands. And funding for the ape language disappeared overnight. This is not the language of crows. Number 7. This is the language of this. This is the language of 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 crows. This is the language of crows. Number 8. Chantek was born in Atlanta, Georgia. In the human language, Cantique means lovely or beautiful. Chantek was raised much like a human child and was given chores like pick up toys or sit for a human test, for which Chantek was given an allowance, using steel washers as money. Chantek attended classes regularly, and Chantek had a photo included in his school yearbooks. Chantek escaped and was accused of harassing another student. When humans were permitted to visit Chantek, Chantek continually signed for them to get car keys and take Chantek home. Chantek had a vocabulary of around 150 human words, and like human children, Chantek preferred names rather than pronouns, even when talking to a person, as the reference is fixed. Chantek invented signs for Chantek to use. I drink for contact lens solution, and Chantek pointed to objects as a human would and used adjectives to specify attributes, like orange dogs for orangutans. Chantek made and used tools and understood the concepts of money and work exchange. This is not the language of crows. Number 9. Cat. Cat, cat, cat. Cat, cat, cat. 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 Cat, cat, cat. Cat, cat, cat. Cat, cat, cat. Cat, cat, cat. This is the language of crows. 10. Peter was an adolescent dolphin. The goal of the experiment was to teach dolphins the human language. Peter was taught to say, "Hello, Margaret." The M sound was extremely difficult without making bubbles in the water. Peter had a sexual relationship with a human. It was quicker than moving Peter to another tank to be with other dolphins. Due to lack of funds, Peter was moved to a smaller facility without sunlight and space. Peter deteriorated rapidly. Dolphins are active breathers. It was up to Peter to decide when to breathe. Peter took a breath and sank to the bottom. Peter did not take another. This is not the language of crows. Number 11. After the last human word, there will be the language of crows. A twitch, a picking of carrion, a tearing of the words that were left, a clean of the beak, a smudge, the rust of human tongues on a tree branch. This is the human that remains. Now it is inside. This is the language of crows. Number 12. Hans was a horse. Hans was said to have been taught to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and read and spell and understand human. Humans would ask Hans, if the 8th day of the month comes on a Tuesday, what is the date of the following Friday? Hans would answer by tapping a hoof 11 times. Questions could be asked orally and in written form. Hans was not actually performing these mental tasks. Hans was reading the involuntary reactions in the language of humans, who were entirely unaware they were providing such cues. This is not the language of crows. Thank you.